No, great to see you again. Proper sleeper, an absolute beast. Cosy YB.
So the name for this one is Patches.
Needs some rust repair. Another thing you got rid of, the pop and bang map.
Yes.
It's 1979 Mark V Cortina.
Set the engine bay on fire and it was cat seed.
Bent the rear axle last time out. Now this Pintosaurus. Pintos and Cortinas everywhere.
Cortina bakkie.
That's going to make plenty of power. Hello and welcome to this video. I'm Marcus Hayes, and today me and my beautiful girlfriend Kat have hit the road to go and meet up with a subscriber called Ben. Now Ben has got a really cool old school Ford that has been on the channel before. I want to take you back to the 24th of July this year when I released my video from the Ford show at Santa Pod. Now that event was a bit of a fail because first of all I failed to get Esther, my ST170 powered Mark 1 Escort, ready for that show, and I ended up taking Maude, my moredoor Mark 2 Escort instead, and I also failed with the video from that show because I snapped my memory card in half that contained all the footage. Now I was able to cobble a video together basically made up of footage that me and Kat captured on our iPhones, including this clip of when I took Maude up the quarter mile at Santa Pod. So, as you just saw, Maude got absolutely obliterated by a Mark V Cortina that day, and it's that car we're going to check out. Ben has also got a few other bits to show us while we're there as well, so yeah, really looking forward to getting down to Ben's place and seeing what he's got to show us. All right, Ben, massive thanks for inviting us round.
No
problem. Great to see you again. Now, it's fair to say you're a bit of a Cortina nutcase.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, obviously, this white Cortina we have seen on the channel before, but I lost some of the footage from that day, as you and everyone who watches my videos knows. So yeah, really excited to check this out a bit closer, but there's also plenty more for us to check out while we're here. All right, so here we have Ben's 1980 Mark V Cortina. This was actually originally a 1600 base, so it would have had a 1600 Pinto in the bay originally, but that's long gone. We will have a look at the heart of the beast in a minute. But yeah, this thing has been painted in diamond white, Ben was telling me, and he was saying that that might not actually be a Mark V Cortina colour, but it certainly looks really cool with the bright white paintwork. I'm loving the replica mini light or super light rims that it's sitting on, gloss black with the polished rim. And you know, from the outside, apart from the bonnet pins, you know, this is a proper sleeper. But as you already know, beneath these tame looks, this thing is an absolute beast. So yeah, around the back of this thing, again, quite unsuspecting. Okay, it does have some sort of aftermarket spoiler on it, and Ben can't remember the brand of this. Do let us know in the comments if you know. And it does have a rather large bore exhaust, but none of those bits take away from the sleeper look of this thing. Now, one thing I really love about this Cortina is the interior. Check this out. Brown interior, proper granddad spec, absolutely mint, no rips, still has the rear seat as well. Now, if you've been watching my videos, you'll know that I do love a brown interior. And yeah, again, just adds to the sleeper feel of this thing. Although it does have a fire extinguisher down there, just in case. Oh, and a modern Pioneer stereo. But yeah, love the fact that this thing, although it does get used in anger, hasn't got bucket seats, doesn't have a cage or anything like that. No, still all as it would have been in 1980. Although Ben was telling me that this isn't the original interior from this car, that would have been blue. But I definitely prefer the brown. Now, where the sleeperness of this thing stops is the engine bay, so let's check out the heart of the beast. And there it is, the dream engine for any classic Ford, Cosy YB, turbocharged as it would have been, you know, when these things were fitted to the Sierras. I like the way that Ben's tucked the intercooler away, you know, it's not hanging out the front or anything, so you know, again, adds to the sleeper look. But yeah, you'll have to let me know what's going on in terms of the spec, Ben, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so it has been bought out ever so slightly by Turbo Sport. So Turbo Sport has done the boring out on the engine and resurfacing the cylinder head. We put, I think it's Worcester pistons in the engine, and I think it's got PEC rods along with an ARP head and stud bolt kit. So top and bottom end, it is all ARP. The flywheel bolts are also ARP. It's got a Turbo Sport light and flywheel, heavy duty clutch and pressure plate, aluminium sump, aluminium bell housing, a Type 9 gearbox along with a quick shift, standard Atlas axle on the vehicle. I've got the exact size of the turbo, but it's a small sized turbo, running about 22 psi on a 340 brake horsepower chip from Turbo Sport.
So it's running the stock Sierra Cosworth ECU,
yes,
with a super chip, which is basically what they used to do back in the day. And with that turbo being really small, I'm guessing this thing is quite responsive, you don't get much lag?
The turbo comes in at the moment around about 2.5 RPMs.
2,500?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. And obviously, you very kindly said you're going to take me for a rip in this thing in a bit, so I'll be able to experience exactly how this thing feels from that really nice brown passenger seat. So remind me, what power is this thing running?
It's chipped for 340.
Oh, yeah.
And it's on, well, the drivetrain is basically all stock.
Yeah.
So it's stock Sierra and Cortina drivetrain, along with a Blackline LSD in the rear end.
How does the Type 9 hold up to a Cosy? Like, some people say that they can't handle more than 200 brake or whatever. Like, is it standard, the Type 9? Or?
Yeah, completely standard box. We've been thrashing it in this one and the one that you're just about to see for years. And we've had no problems with the gearboxes. All we've had to do with the horsepower we're running is do regular oil changes and run a little bit of a different oil in them to keep them happy.
Yeah. What oil is that, do you know?
I think it's LSD oil we run in them.
Oh, really?
I think.
Oh, right. I would dream to have a Cosy lump in one of my cars one day. Really like how you've colour-coded the rocker cover. I'm all about that sort of thing. I can see you've got the heat protection around the turbo and stuff. So, yeah. Really cool lump in this sleeper Mark V Cortina. So while we're in the front garden still, shall we have a look at the other Mark V Cortina?
Yep. So the name for this one is Patches.
Patches? Because I think I can guess why. Because
all we're doing to it is basically just patching it up to get it on the road.
Right.
So it's not going to have anything special like the Mark V behind me.
Yeah.
It's just going to be a little road toy for me.
Cool. And you said you're planning to use this thing as a bit of a tow vehicle as well, which is really cool.
Yeah. So
could we see this towing this one day then? Is that the plan, or?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully.
That would be cool. All right, now we'll have a look at the engine in this one in a little bit. It's very different than the engine in this one, but yeah, what's the story with this?
So I bought it around about 2 years ago off of a post on my forum that I'm in, which is the Mark 4 and 5 Owners Club, and since then it's been sitting here and I've been doing odd little jobs on it.
What rims are these?
I think these are actually Escort rims. They're RS replica wheels.
Okay, I've never seen them before, to be honest. Really interesting 4-spoke rims. Do let us know in the comments if any of you guys know what these rims are. I've certainly never seen them before.
It has actually got a Capri brake conversion. We put them all on because the brakes it had on it when we got it were all seized, and it was just not worth trying to restore the other brakes.
Yeah, no, M16s I run on my cars perfectly fine for a road car. But yeah, I can see it looks like it's had new wings maybe at some point. This wing looks a bit duller than the rest of it.
Yeah, I think it's had a new wing.
Yeah.
But I haven't gotten into this one too extensively yet.
Yeah. So inside you can see that it's stripped out, very much a work in progress. And down there you can see that Ben's started tackling some rust. Got a bit of the seal cut out, and yeah, definitely needs some rust repair, but I mean, most of the floor's still there, mate.
Mostly.
So in terms of interior, what's the plan for this one?
It came with a set of, I think, Escort Recaros in it. So I'll be putting the Escort Recaros back in it for now. Yeah. And it's got a standard Cortina bench seat.
Oh, cool.
So it will just be going like that for now, just to get it back on the road. Yeah. But my original intent for this was actually make this into the race car. Right. And keep that one as the nice car, but then I went Cosworth before I could get this one back on the road.
We change our minds with projects. That's how it goes. But yeah, man, just another really cool Mark V Cortina, and I'm sure once you finish with it, it's going to be another nice addition to the collection. Yeah. All right, let's have a look at the engine. And there it is, a Pinto lump, naturally aspirated, but injection.
This engine came out of my white one when I originally got it. All I've done is I've freshened the engine back up, and it was sat in my garage for a couple of years. So when I got this, we just chucked it in there because we needed an engine for it. Yeah.
So it is a 2 litre Pinto though?
Yeah, it is a 2 litre Pinto.
Yeah. So originally the white one would have had a 1600 Pinto, but when you got it, it had this 2 litre Pinto.
Yeah, I think the engine is actually overboard a little bit. It's got a fast road cam in it.
Oh, okay.
So it's a little bit more of a feisty engine. Yeah. But other than that, it is just a stock Pinto.
You reckon this will put out, what, 150 brake?
At a push.
At a push.
Yeah, with the chip TCU it's got in it as well, if I really pushed it, but it's probably only going to be low hundreds.
Yeah. Got some sort of aftermarket cone filter on it.
Halford special.
Yeah. I do love a Pinto, me. All right, Ben, let's briefly talk about the Focus ST Mark II. What's the crack with this?
It was just something I bought as a daily toy, because I don't really actually use my cars daily because I have a work van. So this was just a way of keeping my insurance down for my classic vehicles. Yeah. Because if I only had my classics, they'd charge me arm and a leg just to insure my vehicles. Yeah.
So you need to have like a modern car so that then your classic cars are your second cars. Yes. Basically. But so remind me, is this stock, the Focus?
Tune-wise, it is completely stock. It has got a Tony Banks exhaust system on it. Anything visually you see on this vehicle is how I bought it, other than the fact that it's now got no longer tinted windows.
Oh, right, yeah, you said it was blacked out when you got it, and you got rid of that. And another thing you got rid of, you said, which most people add to these things, is the pop and bang map.
Yes.
So despite the fact you're only 22 years old, you're not a fan of the pop and bangs.
I get why people put them on it, but no.
Not for you.
Not for me.
Fair play, fair play. But yeah, no, really cool daily, although admittedly, you tend to take the classics out more than this.
Yeah.
All right, Ben, so this is your dad's 1979 Mark III Cortina, and this is a 2 litre GT, right?
Yes, from factory it would have been a 2 litre GT.
Yeah, cool. Now, this thing looks absolutely pristine, but there is a bit of a story behind it.
Yeah, so my dad used this car as his daily driver back in the early 2000s, and when he was taking it, I think, to work one day, you know how with new fuel and old vehicles, the fuel feed for the fuel pump pops out sometimes? Yeah. Happened with this vehicle, and it spewed fuel all over the engine bay. Oh dear. And it set the engine bay on fire, and it was cat seed.
Oh right, so it was written off?
Yeah, they ripped the car off because back when my dad owned this originally, it was just worth nothing.
Right, right.
And a lot of people said to my dad, it's not worth putting back on the road because it is a Cortina. Yeah. And he basically turned around and said, I want to put this on the road to prove that you can. Yeah. And luckily the MTOC helped him with new looms, new windscreen, everything like that to actually get this car back on the road. After that, he started modifying it, and he built a standard engine first, I think, with a carburettor, but he wanted more power. So he built that engine. It was originally on a Granada EFI injection system, and he has since rebuilt it multiple times. It's now got V6 pistons in it, ARP rod bolts and ARP stud bolts, but then I converted it to run a Cosworth loom last year. Since last year it's been retired because I've actually hurt the engine. I actually snapped a rocker in two, and I think I've still got the rocker in my car.
Okay, cool.
As a memento.
Souvenir.
Yeah.
Now we will show you what engine's in the Cortina in a minute, but just like with the white one, I've got to show you the interior on this thing. See, I really love this interior. All right, granted, it's got a couple of rips on the driver's seat, as expected from a car this age, but yeah, all original. This is just like vinyl or leather?
I think it's vinyl.
Yeah, really cool. Still got the back seat fitted and stuff. Still smells old in here, which is really cool. And like the white one, it does have a fire extinguisher, just in case. Although, this one doesn't have a modern stereo. It's still got the old school stereo. But yeah, really cool to see. The original interior still fitted. What an awesome thing. I actually love this colour as well. You were saying it's Sebring red, right?
Sebring red.
Sebring red.
Yeah.
I think the Mark V Escorts came in this. I think.
Yeah, I think for the love of cars, they did a Mark I Mexico in Sebring red.
That's right, that's right. But yeah, oh, I love a Mark III. Really cool. And yeah, there's the GT badge. As Ben said, it was a 2-litre GT originally. Awesome thing. Sitting on mini light rims. What size are they? 15s or something?
Yeah, 15. So
15s.
Both cars are on 15-inch rims.
Oh, yeah. And wrapped in the Nankang AR1 really sticky semi-slick tyres. Yeah, because just like Ben's white one, this one does get used at Santa Pod. And in fact, he was telling me that you bent the rear axle last time out.
We think we've actually bent the rear axle because we're pushing that much horsepower through it.
Proper launches.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just shows how sticky those AR1s are as well.
It was actually running on these.
Oh, okay, sorry.
The Proxy 888Rs.
Oh, yeah, 888Rs. They're what snapped the uprated half shaft in my Mark II. So yeah, I can vouch for how sticky they are. But yeah, let's have a look at the engine bay of this thing. So there it is. It still has a 2-litre Pinto lump in it, although it's turbocharged. Loving the alloy rocker cover, really cool. Now this Pintosaurus thing, we'll talk about that in a bit because that's got some meaning. This is a Granada inlet, you were saying, right?
Yeah.
And you had to modify it by, if I remember rightly, you said you had to tap it here for this sensor.
Yeah.
And then the throttle body just uses an adapter plate, yeah?
Well, no, my car, it just bolts straight up to it.
Oh, right.
We just have to block off the standard idle control valve hole.
Oh, got ya.
But that's where we put our throttle cables.
Oh, okay. Yeah, cool. Yeah, really, really tidy engine bay. Loving the alloy radiator on it. Yeah, just a really tidy Pinto turbo setup. What sort of power is this running? Do you know?
Same as the white one.
Oh, really?
So they're built. So if you put these cars next to each other without the bodies on them, the only difference is my one has a YB head on it, and this one's just Pinto. But underneath, they are pretty much the same car.
Okay, so does this have like basically a cosy bottom end then, like steel crank and all that? Or?
It's all built internals.
Oh, right.
So this is all built internals, that's all built internals.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
they are pretty much the same car.
Apart from the cylinder head.
Yeah.
So a bit of rivalry between you and your dad then on the drag strip, or?
This is the one that started it for me.
Right.
And that's the one I built to beat him.
Right. Have you beat him?
I've beat him in this car.
Okay.
He gave me the keys and I set its fastest time ever, which my car's not too far off. It's a 12.5 at 110 miles an hour.
Cool. But you've never beat him like, you know, lining up together and...
No.
Okay.
When we used to line up, his car was still the faster one out of the two.
Cool.
But I think next time we line up, it will be a bit more of a different story.
Nah, that's awesome, man. Like, you and your dad can go racing together, chase each other, like, push each other on as well, like...
Yeah.
Nah, it's pucker. It's pucker. But yeah, what a smart Mark III. You know, again, with the bonnet shut and stuff, quite sleeperish, but, you know, an absolute weapon with what's been installed in the engine bay. Yeah, while you're shutting the bonnet, you told me something interesting about this bonnet.
So this is a fiberglass replica of an Australian bonnet.
Cool.
That a company down, I think in London does. I can't remember the exact company name, so I do apologise. If I do find the company name, I will put the company's name in the comments for you.
Cool, nice one.
We actually took a friend of ours' bonnets because he had an Australian Cortina, and we gave the company the steel bonnet to make the mould for the fiberglass bonnets.
Ah, cool. So what's the difference? Is it this scoop?
Yeah, this bonnet bulge here.
Yeah. Would the Australian one have the vents as well? Or?
No, this is something we added to it because we wanted the heat to actually get out the engine.
Yeah.
So
I think it's a nice aesthetic addition as well.
yeah.
But yeah, function and form. Yeah, no, really cool. So this bonnet is now available to buy from that company then, or?
Yes, I think they still do actually sell them. We do actually have a couple of the original prototypes in the garage as well, I think.
Oh, cool. Ah, pucker, man. Oh, I love it. Now on the floor over here, we've got yet another Pinto lump. So remind me, what's the crack with this one, Ben?
It has got heavy duty springs in it, a rally cam in it, and the pistons actually protrude into the ignition chamber. So it's a really high compression, really high revving Pinto that we have actually had running.
Yeah.
And it sounds beautiful on these carburetors.
Yeah. So you got a single 44 RDF, is that?
I think it's a single 44 RDF on it.
And yeah, you got it mated to a 4-speed. That'll be a
2 litre box.
Escort RS2000
Cortina
gearbox?
box.
Oh, right, okay.
It's got an RS2000 bell housing, so that is a genuine RS2000 bell housing, and sump, I believe.
I love these alloy rocker covers from my friends at Burton Power. 4-branch manifold on it. So what would be the expected power of this, or have you had it dynoed, or?
We do not know. It is a completely unknown engine to us.
Yeah.
We've only ever had it running, and I've got a video of it actually running in another GT that we have hidden somewhere else.
Right.
Yeah, we put it in a car as a test bench and we got it running in that vehicle.
But yeah, really interesting what you're saying about the pistons, like actually protruding the deck height, essentially. So they go into where the cylinder head is, where the combustion chamber is.
They actually come into your combustion chamber as it's running. Yeah. So if the cam belt were to snap, it would be...
It's an interference engine then, isn't it? Yeah.
It would just be the end of the engine if the cam belt snapped.
Yeah. Ah, awesome. Got Pintos everywhere, mate. Pintos and Cortinas everywhere.
We've got a couple of 1300s as well.
Oh,
they're rocking horse engines.
Yeah. Now, we do actually have one more vehicle to show you while we're here, and part of it is actually over here. All right, so what we've got over here is essentially a Mark V Cortina pickup from South Africa, but that's not actually what it's called, is it?
They call it a bakkie.
A bakkie.
Yeah, so it's a Cortina bakkie over in South Africa.
Yeah, and now I would see this as kind of like a P100, but you were saying these are actually shorter than a P100. Yeah. And the P100s were never available over here with a Mark III front anyway, so they are completely different, right?
Yeah, I think this is actually based on a Mark III estate platform, I'm pretty sure, which is why they're shorter than the P100s.
And this is your dad's as well, right?
Yeah, this is his little on-again, off-again project.
Right.
I think he's just got the engine running recently, but that's all we've done to it at the moment.
Did you guys import this then, or did you buy it off someone over here?
We bought it off of Car Cave in Scotland.
Oh, yeah.
So it's actually quite a decent shell for us to work off of.
Yeah, because it's an import, they're a bit less rusty, but yeah, still obviously got to go through it and whatnot. So yeah, the back obviously isn't fitted, and that was what I just showed you over by the Mark III. But you do have another back that you can sort of rob bits off or whatever. Yeah,
we've got parts back.
Yeah. So yeah, what a cool thing. Now in the engine bay, as you can see, it's running a 2 litre Zetec lump. which is running on a twin choke Weber, and this is actually the same inlet manifold that I had on my Mark II Escort when I was running a twin choke Weber on a Zetec. Really decent inlet manifold, that is. The Weber looks brand new as well. Loving the BDA style rocker cover. Around this side you can see it's got a retro Ford stainless exhaust manifold and a retro Ford water rail. The engine mounts are actually custom made so that the guys were able to put the engine in exactly the right position that they wanted. It's got retro Ford hoses, but yeah, what a proper tidy Zetec setup. That's going to make plenty of power, I'm sure. And yeah, it looks really cool sitting in there. Oh, that radiator looks like a
standard Cortina.
Is that a new old stock? Still got all the lettering on it and
I think
stuff.
that's a sticker he's put on it.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, he's put a sticker on it.
Oh, fair enough. No, nice touch though.
So we've actually gone along and we took pictures of the stickers because it was still all stickered up when we got it. So we went along, took pictures of everything where it all was, and we went and bought, because people actually do replica
Yeah, you can
stickers.
buy the kits. Yeah.
So we went and bought all the stickers for the vehicle.
Yeah. No, that's a really nice touch, man. It fooled me anyway, didn't it?
I think it is actually a replica rad.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, but I will probably get corrected by my old man.
Oh, really cool. And the engine bay, you've painted that, right?
Yeah, so this is going for much like my black car, the ratty look, so we can actually use the vehicle without feeling guilty that we're going to damage one of our decent vehicles. Yeah,
no, that makes sense. But, you know, the paintwork that you have done, it's getting towards looking like a minter already, you know?
This was done by a friend of ours, and he actually has done a really nice job with it.
Yeah, that is nice. I like the colour as well. It's like sort of really like light beige. You know what shade it is? Oh, Sahara.
Yeah, Sahara beige.
Yeah, because it looks a bit different than Cordoba, and then there's another darker one that the Mark II Escort's coming as well. But yeah, what a cool thing. Oh, see, it's got a 1600 badge on the front wing. So this had a 1600 in it when you got it?
Yeah, when we first got it, it had a 1600 crossflow in it that barely ran.
Yeah.
It barely got itself on the driveway.
Yeah, a stock 1600 crossflow in a pickup. It'll definitely go way better with this Zetec in it. Now, Ben was telling me that he's got a couple of engines in here that I didn't even know existed. Right, now, I'm not going to ask Ben to uncover this area, but underneath here, there is not one, but two 1300 Pinto engines. I hope that's coming across on camera. It literally says 1.3 on the block. And it is clearly a Pinto engine. Now, I didn't know there was any such thing as a 1300 Pinto engine, but I'm not, you know, the ultimate anorak or anything. But yeah, let me know in the comments. Have any of you guys ever seen a 1300 Pinto? I've never heard of a 1300 Pinto before, to be honest.
I mean, I've heard of them because I've been tripping up on these all my life.
Yeah, fair enough.
They're just good as paperweights at the moment.
Yeah, maybe they're worth a few quid, who knows. But you know what it's like with Ford, rare Ford stuff. But yeah, we can sort of get a shot of the back of the pickup. Obviously the bed isn't on the back, but yeah, you can see that it's on leaf sprung suspension, of course, and that'll be one of those I can't remember what the axles are called.
English axles.
No, I don't think it is. It's got that sort of hexagon diff cover on it. That's like an overseas Escort axle, and I can't remember what they're called, but everyone says get rid of them and fit an Atlas or an English. It might be Borg Warner, or it might be I can't remember what they're called. All right, so that is Ben and his dad's collection of Cortinas, or the part of the collection that's here. But now it's time to experience Ben's Cosy-powered Mark V, and it's got a back seat, which means my beautiful girlfriend can join us for a joyride. Yeah, one thing I missed when I was looking around the interior is the boost gauge that Ben's got subtly mounted just down underneath the left-hand side of the steering wheel. But yeah, you have mounted it really subtly, which is cool, so you're not taking away from the sleeper interior.
I like people to look at it and think, oh, it's a stock car.
Yeah.
Creeps up on you, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah. It pulls, man. So tell me the story about this. You said you got it on your 15th birthday, right?
Yeah, I was actually struggling at school and I wanted to go into the motor trade. So my mum and dad started looking for a little bit of a project car for me. So we were going to get me a Mark I Fiesta.
Right.
But we saw this for sale and it was owned by a friend of the family, and they surprised me on my 15th birthday with this. Not how it is at the moment, a lot more ratty, a lot more like my black car.
Yeah.
It took us 5 years to get it on the road.
Right.
And it was me, my dad and my godfather were all pitched in. He did the paint work and the prep work. Me and my dad did the body work and the mechanical. So it took us 5 years. I learned skills through this car that has actually helped me get my current job.
Yeah. What do you do for a living?
I work for Quick Fit Mobile.
Oh, right.
And having this car actually helped me go through college as well, because I had a little bit more of a head start than some people that came into the course.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool, man. So it's more than a car to you then, really, isn't it? Like,
It is my pride and joy.
yeah.
Originally we were going to do a naturally aspirated Pinto in it with the carburettor that's on that rally engine.
Right.
But I thought I wanted to be like my dad. So we built an 1800 Pinto for it. It was actually a pretty quick engine, and its best time with the 1800 was about 14.8 at 84 miles an hour. Then we built a 2 litre for it, and it went a little bit quicker. And then we stayed 2 litre for a while, and then I converted it to Cosworth YB with a Pinto. I didn't have much success with that because I had overboosting issues.
Right.
So I got fed up and we built the first Cosworth engine this had in it.
Yeah.
Which we're still using the cylinder head for. But as I was going past the police station, the cam bolt backed out.
Right.
And it bent 10 of the 16 valves.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a bit embarrassing, definitely in front of a police station. So we went back to a 2 litre Pinto setup, which is the engine that was sat next to my dad's car.
Yeah.
Ran that for a bit, still overboosting, and then winter this year was when I pulled the trigger and I built this second Cosworth engine.
Right.
And here it is today.
Yeah. Ah, cool. And correct me if I'm wrong, but when we raced at Santa Pod, you got a PB that day, right?
Yes.
And what did yours run? I can't remember.
12.7.
Yeah.
At I think 104.
104. And what was your best time before that?
14.2.
Oh, you obliterated your PB then.
Yeah.
Was that the first time you'd run with this setup though?
That day, yes.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah, because I ran a PB that day as well.
Yeah, I think it was next to me.
Yeah. Because I only had two runs, I think. Yeah. So I think it was.
Yeah.
And obviously, you'll be going back to try and beat that again.
Yeah, my aim is 12.5.
All right.
To beat my dad's car.
Yeah.
But I set that PB.
But that's your time in your dad's car. Ah, cool.
She's warmed up now.
Nah, it pulls really nice, man. And like no lag, obviously, either. Like,
It scares my friends when I take them out in it.
yeah.
A couple of my friends refuse to get into this car.
Really? So what suspension's this thing running? I don't think we talked about that. Anything special or?
It's got V6 pistons in it.
Yeah.
It's got fully adjustable shocks by Gaz.
All right, yeah.
It's got an Australian front and rear anti-roll bar setup. So I actually have 2 anti-roll bars on the back of this.
All right.
So it has barely any body roll.
Right.
Me doing this, the car isn't leaning like a boat.
Yeah. And you showed us earlier on that like you leave the back quite soft for launching and stuff, obviously.
Yeah, so the back can dig down. And
yeah, it's all about the launch, isn't it? Drag racing's all about the launch.
Yeah, it can be changed for track use.
All right.
But I'd have to take it around the track first to see how it handles.
Right. So you've never done an actual track day in this?
No, I haven't. I haven't had the to take it around the track. Sorry if you have to edit that out.
No, that's fine. That's fine. But you've been sideways in Mexico, innit?
Round about once.
Yeah.
But that was in an emergency situation in one of its old engines where it cut out, and I literally just floored it, and it just was sideways around the whole roundabout because there was a tractor coming out of it.
I'm going to nick that excuse if I ever get caught drifting. Sorry, officer, there was a tractor come in and my engine tried to die.
My friend was in the seat you're in, and he says, I've never seen you drive your cars like that before.
No, I'm sure it goes sideways at wheel though, man, with 300 and what on tap?
340 on tap.
340. So have you got any plans for like future mods, anything significant, or just keep developing the engine, or?
I'm going to leave it as it is for a couple years. I might push this engine to its absolute limits. So the max I'd probably take this car at the moment is 380 brake.
Right.
But any more and I'd have to start doing more mods to it.
Well, I mean, you bent the axle in your dad's, so it just shows like...
Yeah, we are pushing them to their limits. They are not designed for the horsepower we're running out of them.
Yeah, and when you're booting it like on them straights now, it seems planted enough, you know what I mean? It's not...
Yeah.
You know, at least it's not, you know, like snaking up the road sort of thing. Like, with it being a Cortina, it's got probably a longer wheelbase than an Escort, a bit wider maybe, like...
it's got the weight behind it.
Weight, yeah.
But I've never had it go squirrely.
Yeah.
Apart from when I had dodgy tyres on it.
Yeah.
But since then I've been running Toyo 888Rs on it.
Yeah, them 888s are just ridiculous. Like, I've never experienced grip like it, ever.
No, it handles like it's on rails.
Yeah. I love all the noises, turbo noises.
And this is also the roundabout where I got it sideways.
All right.
Yeah, the tractor was there, and I was at that exit we just came out of.
I've never drifted that part of Mexico myself. But it does look like a nice roundabout.
I don't want to do it. Right. It is a nice car to drive as well. I don't know how it is for the passengers.
Nah, it feels all right, man. Like, I can feel that the front suspension is stiff.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, originally these would have been really
bouncy.
Yeah, like, it would have been like driving on a cloud, like, but, you know, it's not uncomfortable. It's fine. It's fine. And obviously these seats, like, way more comfortable than bucket seats, you know what I mean? Well, she's hot, bless her. The fan is still going. But yeah, what an awesome Joyride. Oh man, I wish I could have a Cosy in one of my cars one day. Check out this picture that's been drawn by Ben's mate Richard. Obviously showing Ben's Cortina and his dad's at the world famous Santa Pod Raceway. Now that is pucker, man. Talented bloke is your mate. He's the one that designed
he's the
this t-shirt design as well. Pintosaurus. And Ben has very kindly given me and Kat one of these t-shirts each as well. Yeah. Massive thanks for that.
You're welcome.
And then we've got a photograph of Ben's Cortina doing a burnout on the start line at Santa Pod. And then over here we've got his dad's car at Santa Pod. All right, Ben, I want to say massive thanks for inviting us round and letting us delve into your world for a bit. Really, really interesting checking out all the cars and stuff.
You're more than welcome.
Thanks a lot, and thanks for taking me for a ride in this beast.
More than a pleasure.
Yeah. Nah, awesome stuff, man. But yeah, we're going to get out your way and hope you enjoy the rest of your day, man.
Yeah, you too, mate.
Cool. Right, well, I've very much enjoyed hanging out with Ben for the last few hours and checking out his and his dad's really cool collection of Cortinas. And how cool is the white Cosy powered one? Yeah, it was awesome going for a joyride in that. Do let me know in the comments which one of the fleet was your favourite, and I want to send a massive thanks out to Ben and his dad for allowing us round to have a look. If you thought this video was any good, please do give it a thumbs up and a share. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Click subscribe if you're new. Feel free to follow me on Facebook, TikTok and Instagram. Check out my website for merch and parts. Massive thanks to all my patrons for your ongoing support. I will leave all the links to everything in the description as usual, along with my email address for anyone who wants to contact me. But other than that, until next time, from me and my beautiful girlfriend Kat, thanks for watching.